guys, it's Ali and Theo, and we're back with another episode of the Undecided Gen Z.
This is the podcast where we talk about everything going on in our world, your world, and the world around us from a Gen Z perspective. And we are back!
We are.
Hey everyone, how are you all doing out there listening to us?
I hope everybody's had a really great day, or a night. If this is your morning, I hope your day is going to be amazing.
I hope if you're in Sydney, Australia, you're not drowning in the floods.
It's actually so scary. Like, I'm not being affected, but like people in my class can't come
you're
to
in Sydney,
class.
Australia. Are you getting flooded?
No, I'm okay, but I'm like in the near the CBD, so I'm okay. But yeah, it's scary. Like one of my, as I said, my classmates, she's literally can't come tomorrow because she's stuck. And I'm like,
because the house got washed off.
I shouldn't. Like, it's scary. But
no,
funny,
it's
but
actually it is very terrible because I just seen like there was a bit of floods, and then only this morning I was like, you know what, I should probably find out what's going on. And there's literally videos of people like getting swept away, like people losing houses. I'm like, that is
somebody
crazy.
died in like Queensland because their car got submerged or something. I don't know. It's really intense and like the most just it's wild.
So we're here for our flood victims, but that's not what we're about today.
That was really bad.
A little tribute. I know that was just felt disrespectful all around. I am sorry if that is actually
we just
you.
need to get rid of that whole thing.
No, I think it's good like opening tribute to the flood victims, but like it didn't come across very genuine, and I apologize. I hope you're okay.
Yeah, I hope you're okay too. It's really scary. And it's like been intense even being here with the rain. It's been raining for like 2 weeks, kind of non-stop. So that's been,
yeah.
but
you mentioned that, yeah.
But like full raining, not just like, oh, it's rainy. It's like been like storms and like full like, anyway, I don't know how to explain it, but that's been scary enough for me. And I'm like, oh my god, there's like so many puddles and it's raining, and like I can't even imagine people.
So many puddles. No, I stepped in. My foot's wet. I'm walking home.
No,
I dry my shoe out.
I mean, there's streams of water pouring down the streets and stuff, that kind of stuff.
Well, and also because you don't know if the floods could get to you, so...
Okay, let's not put it out there. Anyway, I think we should start with our favourite, a review of the week.
Ooh. Yeah, but should we give a little tease of what we're talking about today, or should we just let it happen?
Oh, no,
by the way, just to let it know, I'm keen to be here today. I'm feeling really hype.
Every other day I'm not keen to be here, but today I really am.
Today I'm actually excited to be recording, as opposed to every other week. No, but I'm feeling good. We're looking at each other over Zoom. I'm seeing you.
I know.
I'm in the interstate vibes. We've got representation from all around Australia. This podcast is so diverse.
And especially because today's episode we've got, I'd say, an exciting topic. And you guys know we always struggle with solo episodes. We don't have a guest, I'm sorry. But today it's just us. But I'm excited to talk about this because there's so many different little pockets we are going to go into. And just some funny stuffs to bring up and funny stories.
Literally.
I just can't stop looking at Theo. Theo, you have a mustache. Get rid of it. It keeps popping on and off.
I'm if I put the microphone up, I'm like, yikes, I've been exposed. And then when I do that, I'm like, yikes, it looks so bad without a mustache. So we're currently recording on Zoom. It might be coming out, we don't know, but I hope so you can see this mustache. Because I never thought I'd be a facial... Well, I never, at this point in my life, I thought I probably wouldn't suit it. I mean... probably not quickly, but also I'm at the point where I'm like, for the example, to get this mustache, you have to go through the awkward stage, and I don't know. I don't know I don't know if there'd be a beyond the awkward stage because I've never given it a try because I'm I don't want just a little.
Why not? Should
I give it a crack?
Do it.
I'm the more I look at this Zoom, I'm like, oh, okay.
Ooh, it's a vibe. I actually kind of like it.
Thank you.
Anyway. So this week's episode, we just went completely off track. But this week's
10 minutes in this week's episode.
We've got a lot for you guys. We've got, basically it's all to do with the internet and our journey growing up with parts of I wouldn't say we grew up with the internet fully because I didn't have internet until I was probably 7. And I didn't use it, and I didn't use it a lot until I was, in my 13, 14, that's.
But it wasn't as children. Well,
no, we had atlases.
Babies.
We used
what is
atlases.
that?
Did you use atlases in primary school?
As in, like, looking
To,
up
like,
the
look up
geography?
Yeah, and like to
Oh,
find...
I thought you were referring to like some like kids technology game thing. You know, like those leapfrog things. Did you always see those ads for leapfrogs? I always.
I never had one.
Neither, but
No.
yes, Atlas.
And like
atlases.
atlases.
Are they
and,
still
like,
around? It's crazy.
I don't know. And ecologies.
Stop it! We literally went through this like a few episodes ago. Ali does not know this word. Well, I don't know if she does, but she just says.
No, I actually can't get it.
Try again.
Ecologies.
Encyclopedias.
Encyclopedias. That's it. That's what I meant.
Wait. Is that?
But
Is that the A
use
to
it
Z?
anymore.
Is that the A to Z thing?
Yeah, where you can find like facts and like information on things. Like
That
that's
is
what
great,
we have
but
to use for like projects.
How do they fit all the information on one book? To be honest, I don't think
you could. I
encyclopedias
think it'd be
will always
fake.
be on me. I'm not sure if I
think
really
it was
got
just,
into the
like,
encyclopedias.
One fact on like an animal, and that's all they could fit.
Yeah, how do they? I feel like I've got a set of those. Well, not me personally, but at home. I feel like I need to check those out because, like, how do you?
Honestly. Anyways,
we haven't even started that convo yet, guys. What we wanted to talk about today is like, not necessarily personal, but like growing up on the internet, different experience, like how we got involved in the internet, like at first, like time using like Instagram and stuff, and how it's all changed, just like fun stuff like that.
So stick around.
We hope
honestly.
you can.
After that ramble.
And I'm excited for the people pick today. Excited to hear about your life. I've got something a little bit juicy that's happened, so let's get into it. Review of the week. Did we get a review of the week? That is the weekly question. Do we have a review this week?
Okay, so the review of this week is actually from the UK. It wasn't done this week. It was actually done at the start of the year. I can't lie. I'm not a great liar.
You're not good at this. Ali can never. I'm always like, Ali, it happened now. They don't need to know that something was like 6 months ago, but she can't do it.
No, I can't. And the only reason we found this is because, like, it's really weird. Apple Podcasts does weird reviews, like, on different countries. Like, you can't get them all in one country.
We're like, okay, there was no Australian ones. There's no US. Like, it's time to go international. Like, we're looking through every country. Like, did Italy, did the Mexicans leave a review this week? No, but we've got someone from Britain pulled through, which we love. We like diversifying the reviews.
In January, but nonetheless, they pulled through.
Hopefully, they're still around. Hopefully, they've stuck by listening.
Definitely. So we've got a review by The Chosen Hijab.
Oh, Hijabi.
Oops. Okay, so we've got a review by The Chosen Hijabi. 5 stars. We love. Already off to a good note. And they go, love from London. And they say...
but I think it's a must that you read this in a British accent.
A British accent. Okay, let me pull out all my stuff. No, I feel like people hate me.
It's hard if it's not natural, but
I feel like
it's one of the things that just has to come out. But if someone's like, if the pressure's on,
no, that's not good. I can do a British accent when I'm drunk. I can do it for fun. But when you put me on the spot, that's what I'm not gonna.
Love
perform.
from London.
Love from London. I tuned in for. See, it's not working. I'm just gonna go back to my voice. I tuned in for the first time today. Okay, you know what? You do it. Go.
No, I was just trying to make you feel comfortable, like give you a bit of prompting. Nah. Like, I tuned in for the first time today after interacting on Instagram.
No, I can't do that. Okay.
Okay, just read the damn review. Get this out of it.
I tuned in, love from London. I tuned in for the first time today after interacting on Instagram and absolutely loved it. All in caps, by the way. Little smiley face. I love how it literally feels like you're having a conversation with friends. It's so interesting to listen to your life stories and experiences. It has such an authentic and genuine feel. I don't know why I'm typing in all caps, but I'm clearly excited. But clearly I'm excited. Obviously, I can't read. We'll be tuning in regularly from Sapphio. I don't know. Sorry if I butchered your name.
Sapphio.
Sapphio. That's kind of fun. Sorry if that's not your name at all. But thank you. I'm gonna move to London, so I love this like interaction before I move. Anyway, Theo, what have you been up to? What's the goss? Fill us in.
Okay, well, I do have a little bit of goss. I'll start with just some positive vibes. You know, we haven't been able to travel in a while, but I just booked today 2 trips, little cheeky weekend trips. Friday to Monday vibes. One to Sydney.
We love.
No, obviously we still can't go overseas. Will we ever be able to go overseas? Unsure. Which is really sad. Like, will we actually be able to
shouldn't laugh. I'm laughing
serious
through
question.
the pain.
Will we be able to?
I don't know. Can we not think about it? It actually hurts.
Let's just forget about the idea that you could ever do that. But no, I'm going to Sydney because Ali decided to cancel her 21st and have a cheeky little 21st weekend in Sydney instead.
Yeah, because think of the vibes. And also, like, I don't want to uphold my whole life and come down to Melbourne. Like, I want everybody to come to me. So, that's the mood. I'm excited. You better be excited.
I'm so hyped. It was so fun. And it just happened to coincide with a cheeky little Virgin flight sale. So, 77 flights, here we come.
They knew it was my birthday.
Literally.
No, but honestly, you're the only person who's actually booked a flight yet. So it might just be us two.
Which, I mean, would be on brand. So, it would sense,
definitely.
But either way, it'll be nice to check out your little hometown, see what you've left us for up there.
It's a city, but okay.
And then I also booked to the Gold Coast with my co-worker, so that will be exciting, just for a little sunny beachside weekend.
Yeah, sure, if it's not flooding.
It best not be flooding. It best not be. If I get up there and it's cold, done. But
no, but people up here find cold like 20 degrees, 22
That's
degrees.
true.
They're like, it's so cold. And I'm out literally here in like a t-shirt and a skirt, and I'm like, it's sweating. And
I'll take like
up here.
North Australia cold. I mean, where we live is like the coldest part of Australia. So anything above
true
20, I'm here.
Yeah.
But in like more important news, so I feel like it's basically become my identity on this podcast at this point, which is a little bit annoying. I'm like, guys, sometime I'll have something else to talk about. But this is actually kind of crazy. So a few weeks ago, I talked about a little situation, which looking back, to be honest, I do kind of not regret, but like I'm a bit like, what am I thinking? Like, Theo, you're just gone a bit crazy, a bit money hungry, you could say. So a few episodes ago, if you missed it, I won't go through the whole story, but basically this dude had slid into my DMs to refresh you, offering me a large amount of money for nudes. Now, obviously, I mostly assumed it was fake, and I definitely wasn't going to send my own personal nudes, but I actually...
So you outsourced?
I outsourced. But I actually ended up speaking to this dude on the phone, because he kept calling me, and I was like, podcast content, and he basically he talked to me about the fact that he got his tax return, he had a lot of money to spend, he'd been watching me since I was young on YouTube, and he was just really keen to spend whatever it takes to get a pic of me. So I said jokingly to one of my friend group, anyone want to go in, I'll give you 50-50. One of my friends sent a nude back. I sent it to this dude. A full-blown dick pic. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm a bad person. No, not a bad person, but it wasn't like the wisest decision. Anyway, as it turns out, he pretends to send the money. He scams me. It's all fake. Not thinking anything of it, this man deleted his account. Hadn't heard from him since, right?
Yep.
I get a cheeky little DM in my message requests this week. Now, keeping in mind, the first time it had been from an anonymous account anyway, he comes back with another anonymous account, and it's just like ramble words. There's no picture, there's no bio, no following or anything, and it's a message directly to me, and he sends the photo back to me.
Oh, no.
And he says...
I can't. Too much. I'd be tapping out at this point.
You will send me any videos or photos I want, or I'll send this to all your family and friends and post it online.
A little bit of blackmailing you love. Spice it up. Keep it interesting.
He says, I don't want to fight or argue. Just send me what I want and I'll leave you alone forever. I swear I will. Sends the photo back. So
I swear I'll leave you alone, but I'm going to blackmail you. I've entered
a little bit of a blackmail situation. But the way that it gets interesting is the fact that he's like, yes, I've slam dunked him. I've got his pic. It's my friend's pic. So there's a few aspects to this in that one, I personally am not that fussed if it gets out under my name. Like for start, that reason that Ali is smirking at me right now. Like it's not the worst dick pic ever.
So why not have your name attached to it, right?
Exactly. But and also it's the fact that I'm not even a name. So him posting my this pic, no, not even my picture, but this picture online, nobody's gonna bat an eyelid. But
I I think like some people would
maybe
bat an
like
eyelid,
two
but
people
like,
listen to the podcast, but then they'd hear this, be like, okay, it's not even Theo speak. Then,
but they'd still want to see.
The idea of sending it to my family and friends, I find so weird because I'm like, if my mum is sitting there on her phone and she gets like a random message, I don't know, I assume he's just like stalked my family and found them, which is whatever. He sends them like an Instagram message request.
I love it. Pause. You're like, yeah, I like assume he's like stalked my family and friends, but like whatever, like that's fine.
But I mean, he can just go into my Instagram and be like, who is related to him, who's got the last name McCoy, send them into their message requests. What is my mum going to do? She opens up her message requests and there's this anonymous account saying, this is a picture of your son, like dick, naked.
And she's gonna be like,
and she's gonna be like, "What is this anonymous account?" It's not like she's gonna look at the image or think she's gonna be like, "What is this weird account?"
But maybe he just like send the image without any.
Then why is that bad?
Be intrigued. True.
Like, if anyone, it's not like my family's gonna be like, what is this?
I'm thinking about the blackmailer's perspective here. I'm trying to delve into the dark minds and depths of it.
Like he sends it to my sister, and my sister's like, "What the heck? I don't know. Why am I interested in this? No, bye."
Yeah.
And any of my friends,
maybe it's like the shame for you. Maybe it would be like the shame for you that like you've taken it.
Right.
It's more of that type of thing.
Okay, let's think.
Like maybe if it actually had been your image, and they're like, "I'm gonna send this to your mum," so then your mum knows you've taken that type of image. Then it would be like a bad thing. But because don't have that,
that's kind of true. But also like, would they necessarily believe it? Like, I don't know. I feel like it's just kind of weird to do that. But like,
obviously it's weird. The whole thing's weird theory. It's like, no, it's normal to blackmail people, but it's so weird to do it in this way. Like, no.
So my thing is, do I respond to this? My only issue is like, mostly for my friend, like, even though it's under my name, like, I don't necessarily want, he sent me this pic to like go in on this like money deal.
He didn't get.
Like, I do feel a little bit bad if his image goes out there, even though it's not attached to his name. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm like, do I just leave him?
But like, what would you do? Like, what do you do? Be like, ha ha ha, that's not mine.
No, well, it's who?
To the blackmailer. Like, what is he gonna do with that image though? Why would he release it after he finds out it's not yours?
Well, he wouldn't know it's not mine.
If you told him, you're like,
I'm not going to tell him it's not mine. No way. And so hopefully he doesn't listen to this, because then I can have fun with it. If he thinks he's blackmailing me, it's funny.
So you're not about like getting out of the blackmailing or saving your friend. You're all about wanting content.
Well, that is my question. I'm like, I could leave him in the requests, act like I've never ever seen it, or even just block his account, or I could entertain him, because immediately I was like thinking of responses. I could be like, there's like funny ways I could respond to him, and I'm like, do I entertain it? Potentially get some content, potentially have. Like, I can easily explain to my family, even though my parents will be like, oh, maybe I don't want to have to do that. Yikes. Okay, maybe my parents will be like, why are you sending your friends nudes to men to get fake money?
My mom listened to the podcast, and her reaction was enough for me.
This is how bad my mind is. I'm just like, no, this is chill. And then my sister literally listened. She's like, Theo, that like last episode was, do you know like people could listen to that? And I was like, what? Yeah. And she's like, that's like not. And I'm like, oh. She's like, you know, you're Christian. I'm like, no, she didn't say that, but
my mom's like, oh, you know, like he probably could be a pedophile, like.
Well, also, it's like just soliciting porn. It's like, I don't know.
Exactly, it's like illegal.
And look, that's why I say
Is it illegal?
I don't know, but that's why I say I'm kind of ashamed. Not ashamed, but looking back, I'm like, what was I thinking?
You feel a little bit.
So I didn't respond to him immediately, and I've only heard from him once again. He tried to video call me. Bruh.
It's this guy with calling.
Literally.
Like, you think I'm going to pick up your call after you've blackmailed me? Like, what's that
But
about?
Also, the other aspect is, why does he think I would ever send him, just say it was my image, more pics or videos when he's already threatening to, like, expose this one pic?
Exactly. People are dumb. Honestly.
Anyway, he says, so I didn't respond. And then yesterday he said to me, so how is this going to work? Sends me the pic again and says, you're cool. Then tries to video chat again. And so I'm like, look, I'm low-key down for the video chat just for the content. Like, I've caught him before. My biggest question out of this is, though, like, who is this person? Like, not even just, like, their name.
My biggest question, like, they must not be, I think they have to be youngish.
No, he
youngish
was...
or, like...
Well, he definitely wasn't old. I would say 30s 20s, late 20s.
Well, yeah, maybe
30.
like, incompetent of the internet. Like, he obviously doesn't get how any of this works.
I mean,
like he can't blackmail well.
I mean, he seems
he
pretty
can't
good at
get
making
nudes well.
anonymous
Like, he's
Instagram
not good at
accounts.
it.
No, he's not good at.
Yeah, well,
he's not good at anything.
He's not good at anything that he's trying to do. Like,
but
if you're gonna do something that's
yes.
scandalous and evil, like, at least be good at it. You know, like, be skillful.
But I just find it so weird because like I'm not like oh my gosh this man, but I'm like what is it? Where is he at in his life? Where it's at the point, like surely you have to be at such a low point of like miserability where you're blackmailing. Like, oh, technically he's not, well, he's blackmailing me, but like, oh, it's not my image. But if it was my image, to be blackmailing like young people on Instagram of their like naked pictures.
My thing is,
I know, bro,
like,
there is plenty of sites out there.
For content, if you're that desperate for content, go to porn. There's OnlyFans. Then, you know what else you could do? Go on Tinder. Go find somebody in real life. Get that real life content. Like, there's so many.
But does he have family?
That, like,
does he have friends? Like, do you know what I mean? How weird is that?
Yeah.
Okay, but the fact that he said,
kind of...
I was initially, when I called him the first time, I was initially going to pay you to like, see if I could give you a blowjob. Oh, concept. We trick him into meeting up with us, even though you've left, so this is not possible. I say, you still down for that blowjob? Meet in the Macca's car park. We roll up. He's there.
You've
got the camera.
We like catfish him. You know, like that kind of
viral TikTok. I mean, we don't need to send him straight to the police, but we can get a good viral TikTok out of it.
Like, he's done some things illegal, but like, we won't send him to the police because we're nice. We just want the content, right?
So yes, basically that's it. I'm just trying to decide: do I entertain him? Do I get more content out of it? But then potentially have him like send this to my parents and them a bit of an awkward conversation there. But I think that's looking likely. I don't know. I still need to talk to my friend about how he's feeling about. Yes.
Oh,
I'm sorry. If anyone has any advice, clearly I'm not good at this. Please let me know.
Please go. Actually, I was about to say DM you, but maybe like you've had enough of the DMs for the moment. Like, maybe we need to hold off on that aspect of life.
Give me a video chat. No.
Blackmail me and then you'll be on my radar. Like.
So don't send people pictures. Especially unless you have their full identity. Well, no, just don't in general. Just keep it to yourself.
Yeah. Unless it's
your
like a long-term partner. I don't really know. I don't even know if I'm about that either, to be honest.
Anyway, that was a little tangent.
God.
How have you been? What is going on for you?
Well, nothing exciting like that has happened. I feel like you really popped off this week there. Usually you have no content.
I came through. See, that's the thing. I'm like, damn, I need to like sell myself.
We waited 2 years.
This is the levels, guys. I'm like, yikes, if I don't like sell my body now, Ali's going to roast me for having nothing interesting to bring up in my personal life update.
I'm sorry. It's the way it is. But no, for me, like, nothing really, like, fun or interesting has happened. It's just been a lot of kind of, like, settling down. I finally, a couple of days ago, got rid of the last cardboard boxes
Airbender?
in my... No, the last cardboard boxes in my flat that I've had
only
since
2 months in?
Furniture.
That's good.
So does that mean I've finally moved? Possibly. That's a big step for me. Other than that, I've just been... I don't even know. I've been pole dancing.
How is the experience of like going back to not going back to school, but like re-entering the education system? You had those few years of like what's going on with Ali's year 12. You like had a break for a while, and now you're back in like TAFE/uni. What is that re-entry experience, and like how does TAFE kind of what's it like?
It's really, really easy.
Really?
That's just my experience at the moment anyway. Like, it's very easy. I don't know if it's just a course because I already know what I'm doing, but it's like very, very easy to the point that I'm like bored, which I don't do stuff, which is like the whole other opposite side of like my education.
It's like too hard, don't do anything. Too easy, don't do anything. Like...
That's it. I was like, why are you doing this to me? Like, before it was like, okay, there's so much stuff to do. It's so overwhelming. I can't deal. Drop out. This, I'm like, it is so easy. I'm sitting here. We have a whole class on making a Twitter account. A whole Twitter account. A whole class. That is like basically 4 hours. 4 hours. So
is that why I suddenly saw a new Undecided Gen Z Twitter account pop up this week?
Because I'm just trying to make content. No, but literally there's stuff that I'm like, I don't need to know this. I already know this. There's like, we've got all different types of classes, like editing, and then we've got like social media classes, and then like radio, and we have like a radio show every Friday that we like
really fun.
Produce and create, which is really fun. But then a lot of it, I'm just sitting there, I'm like, I want to die. Why are we wasting 4 hours on this one thing? Which I like get, because obviously there's some older people who don't know anything really about social media.
So this is Instagram.
Or things like that, so they don't really know how to do it. But while me, I've been on Twitter since I was 13, 14. We didn't get taught how to make accounts.
Spoiler to our upcoming chat.
Or how do create content, because we've just grown up on it and learnt the ins and outs and what's good and what's bad. Well, for me anyway. Yes. So I'm just sitting there, I'm like, I don't know what to do. And I'm like, I just want to learn how to get big and how to make great content. Like, I don't need...
Just tell me how to go viral. Just tell me how to get...
No.
More than...
But it's weird. It's weird being back in education, but it's like good, I suppose. It's cool being like in a learning environment with other like some young people. There's a mix of all different people. But yeah, other than that, just like TAFE, trying to find a job, which is gross. I hate trying to find it. I don't want to work ever.
I feel like your life is eternally trying to find a job, and then you get one for like 2 weeks, and then something happens, and you're like, I'm back to finding a job.
I get a job for like a month, and then I move to a different state. And
like
then,
an underlying storyline of this podcast is just Ali's job sequence.
True. No, but other than that, I've been doing pole classes, which, oh my god, is so much fun, but it looks like I've been like literally jumped on the street and like beaten up, because I've got bruises all over my legs, on my like shoulders, just everywhere from pole dancing, that I look like a bruised watermelon or something. Okay, maybe not watermelon isn't the best term. Bruised fruit. I don't even know. I was trying to come up with like
banana.
A concept. Yeah, maybe a bruised apple. I don't know what I look like, but just a lot of bruises. Yeah, so like even like going to these pole classes when I don't have a friend and I just show up alone is kind of a vibe. Like I don't know, and like I've got a new trainer who, by car she's half an hour away, but by public transport, because I don't have my car at the moment, she's 2 hours each way.
What?
So it's intense.
You go 2 hours each way?
Like just under 2 hours, yeah. But when I get my car, it'll be fine. But my whole thing is, I literally do this public transport trip twice a week, so 8 hours a week, just by myself, and I just get my book and I read and listen to my music on the public transport, and it's so nice. Like, I don't know why we're so scared to be on our own, except for like bar situations. I get that. Don't do that. But it's kind of a vibe being alone sometimes.
No, and I think it's like, I think we've kind of built up this thing. I don't know, maybe we haven't, but like built up thing where it's like you need sociability, you need to be with other people and stuff, to the point where it's like sometimes I'm like, no, I'm quite happy to do this thing alone or something, but then I'll feel like inside I'm like, oh, is it like, am I a loser, or like not a loser, but like am I is this embarrassing that I'm doing something alone, like that I'm not like doing this with friends or something? And I've definitely
felt that way, but then there's also kind of like, why do I want to stop living my life and like not be able to experience like good positive things because I don't have anybody here to do that with? So like,
exactly, yeah, exactly.
But yeah, that's been a vibe of it for my weeks. But that's really it. Honestly, I don't have anything exciting. I don't have any drama.
I think that's a good thing for you at this point in time.
Love
like you've just
updates.
Settled. Do we need another element of drama? Do we need something over the top? No, I think we can just settle and like.
Like part of me, like
you're like,
wants it so
life
bad.
is like calming down. It's getting relaxing. Time to sabotage.
Legit. I'm like, how can I spice this up?
Stop.
No joke though.
No.
But no, we're just cruising at the moment.
Cruising for a bruising on that pole dancing.
But I think we should get into this week's topic. I think we've talked enough about ourselves.
Well, I mean, like, maybe we shouldn't frame the episodes like this episode is about the internet, because then I'm like,
Maybe
looking at the
like,
time,
this is an episode.
38 minutes in. I'm like, hopefully about to cut a few minutes out, but like, at this point, is the episode about internet, or is it just a part? You know what I mean? Anyway, so the internet.
I honestly don't know the exact time I started with the internet.
I was just in. Yes. What was our first experiences with using the internet?
I think mine was either like games, like online games, or no. I think it was MSN Messenger.
Literally, wait, I think same. Wait, it's MSN.
Yeah, because I was 7 when I first got MSN. And I know that because you had to make an email account.
Yes,
and
Hotmail.
My email was aliflower7
Which
at hotmail.com.
she still uses.
And like I still have that email.
But
no, I literally
is Hotmail
only
still
stopped
around? Like, how do you log into that? That's my question.
You use Outlook to use it.
Oh,
but like
okay.
I only like got my actual like a real email like 3 years ago. I was just using aliflower7. But yeah, MSN, and I only had 1 or 2 friends on it. And you just chat. That was it. You'd send those weird like emoticons and things like that.
I'm so happy you did this, because literally no one I talked to was like an MSN person. Yes, because I have 2 older sisters, so I remember they would always like make stuff, and I'd like follow along. Like they'd be signed up to Hotmail, and I'm like, I want Hotmail. I'm like, who am I emailing at age like 7? But I think my first one was like Theo-loves like friends or something. And you'd be on MSN, literally sending people, like most of our listeners probably won't even know this, but you'd be sending like the emoticons, and it would be like a bright green, like G2G or something. And like that's when I first remember learning about like those abbreviations, like got to go.
Yeah. And the weird like kissy where they're like,
yes!
And then make the noises.
Yes! What? Oh. Like who was I messaging on MSN? I think I had like 1 friend, and I'm like, hey,
I had
G2G.
1 friend, and then I had my cousin.
That's a vibe.
And I just remember sending the word rocks, but ROX a lot. ROX.
I'm pretty sure RX was in one of my first emails. Oh, literally. Oh, I'm surprised that like you've like had this same experience, because I remember
So
also like
weird.
probably at that point, but also older, like watching shows or like reading a book, and they'd always talk about like jumping onto Messenger, and they'd send a couple of chats and then just like close their computer, and I'm like, that's such a vibe.
Yeah.
Like you're just like chatting with someone like, hey,
Yeah.
what's up, and then you close the thing. And it was just something fun about like going
like,
to the computer.
I think it was like the shows like Lizzie McGuire. Was it Lizzie
prob-
McGuire?
yeah,
I'm not really sure. But she'd go
like,
on and be like,
AOL.
and it had the little like, yeah.
Yeah, like, are you online? Is this person online? Yes, because on MSN you
then
could
it come
see
up
like
with
who's
the online.
online. Yes.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, hey.
And like I think
LOL.
I used that for like a little while, like up into primary school.
It's primary
And then I
school.
added more people. No, I did.
No, it never kicked. I
Like-
think it died by the time like I was actually ready to start messaging people, like no one I really knew.
I think it died by like when I was like 10, so like 3 years.
Do you
No, I don't
know when you got like your first phone?
Oh yeah, I got my first phone when I was 12, but it was like a flip up like maybe spin around. It was like a pink one, but I got it when I was 12 because I like did basketball camps and stuff like that.
Oh.
So I like convinced my mom. But I got my first iPhone 2013, at the end of 2013ish. I convinced my mom because we were going to America, and I was like, I need a phone. I need to contact my friends.
Yes, I had like a Motorola flip up too, and you just like be text. Oh, literally the fact that you used to have to like press the number like multiple times is insane.
To like get the
You just
thing.
be playing Snake or whatever. But then there was like iPod Touches, which was like pre-phone.
Oh, and iPad Nanos and stuff like that. But iPod Touches had internet, because I remember that.
iPod
and I used to
Touches
have the,
was
like, weird like YouTube,
A huge move.
the YouTube things.
Yeah.
And I used to be like my iPod Touch on the internet like at night in my bed, and then like hide it under my pillow.
No, yeah, because I remember like DSs were the thing, and I got a DS from like learning my times tables for some reason. I don't know why, but I got a DS, and I was like, you'd just be playing games, but like games would cost you like $80 or something.
They were so expensive. I think I had like 3.
Literally, you couldn't afford more
I
than
had
like
Brain
2.
Trading, Nintendo. Nintendo Dogs. Yeah, Brain Trading, Nintendo Dogs, and I had one other. I think maybe I only had 2. No, I had a Harry Potter one, of course.
And then iPhones dropped.
But I had a
iPod.
Game Boy.
Oh.
I had like a square Game Boy for my dad when I was
Okay,
younger, because
boomer.
he was in America.
No, I'm just kidding.
And I had
yeah, that's
SpongeBob
really
on it.
ancient. Good job. That's like
I think I still have it somewhere. Hopefully.
I definitely did not. But one of my earliest kind of things, I don't know if this was probably before MSN, but first thing on the internet, my big thing was like Club Penguin. And so I remember as a kid, we'd have like 30 minutes of computer time a day. I don't know from what age, but you would only be allowed 30 minutes. So they'd be like, okay, your 30 minutes starts now. And I'd run to the computer, like quickly turn it on and be like, Club Penguin, zoom, zoom, zoom. And literally Club Penguin was such a vibe because you'd like make friends and you'd be like, wow, we're literally best friends with like just chatting to other Club Penguins in like the pizza parlor. And then you'd never ever see them again.
I just remember being like really naughty on Club Penguin. Like I'd say like a naughty word and be like,
definitely got banned. You just someone report you.
And I just remember wanting to be a member.
Oh my gosh, I would rack the internet
like, imagine
for like free membership codes
for Club Penguin.
And being a member because the member people were so cool, and they would have their igloo parties with like stuff in the igloos.
But no, it's like talking about those type of games. Did you have Neopets?
No,
I don't know if like lots of people had that.
But there was so many of those types of games. I did not get into the Neopets. I was like, Club Penguin was the main one. I had like phases on other ones.
Moshi
like,
Monsters?
Yeah, Moshi Monsters was there, but I never vibed with it because you couldn't talk to people.
Oh, true.
And that was the whole thing I wanted. Everyone's like, Moshi Monsters. But I'm like, no, I'm here to like make friends, to like bully people or...
bully people.
I discovered something the other day which I'd blocked from my memory, and this is slightly embarrassing because it's like I was like, oh, that's nice. I was like a young kid. Turns out it was from 2013. But this is I like revisited my Club Penguin stage in 2013, and I like went so far that I was like into the Club Penguin like fandom to the point of like there was Club Penguin blogs.
I'm sorry, but you have been in so many weird fandom things. Like you know how you exposed yourself the other week?
No.
You had that like...
That just reminded me of an even weirder one.
Page.
But so there was like this one Club Penguin blog, which was like Riffy888, right? And it would be like talking about the cheat codes and stuff. And I would like write to him
go on a blog?
Every day, like submitting like articles, being like, let me be like a writer on your blog. So, and I never got like response. So I found an old Club Penguin blog that I had, and I was like, hey guys, the party's coming up. Like, here are the dates for the parties. This is in 2013. I'm like in high school on the Club Penguin like blog writing away. And that was my life for a little bit.
That's so fun.
But no, stop. You just
like,
talking about embarrassing weird fandoms. The biggest, probably like a huge portion of my childhood was spent on a Beanie Kids forum.
Oh my god.
Do you know what Beanie Kids are?
Oh my god. I know what Beanie Kids are. I collected them. But I didn't go online and then search them. Like I was not on the internet that phase. That phase of my life for Beanie Kids was like I was watching High School Musical. wasn't on the internet.
Yeah, I was unraveled. I was like 10 on this Beanie Kids forum. But I used this forum for years because it was like a Beanie Kids forum, but it would be about all this random crap. And there'd just be ordinary people on there talking about stuff. And eventually they actually shut it down, which was like top 10 saddest moments of my life. But they shut it down because it's like, guys, this is a Beanie Kids forum. Like for kids, you're all like pushing 40. No, but there was like legit adults 40, on there. 50. I'm like, what are you doing at a Beanie Kids forum? Like I'm 12 or like 6. But, oh my God.
Like, no, I remember when I got Beanie Kids. Speaking of adults being weird, this is not internet related. But my mum literally took my Beanie Kid from me because she wanted it. Like, maybe this is a thing. Maybe, like, adults love Beanie Kids.
They do.
I'm serious.
There would be, like, these women, like, collect, like,
issue.
This is my Beanie Kids collection. For a while. So, guys, if you don't know, they're a bit I think they're gone at this point, which is kind of sad. Well, it's not really sad, but I think they're kind of called, like, Beanie Bears in America, but they're basically, like, these bears with beans, and they'd be all different, like, types of them.
And then have, like, themes.
And, like, every month new ones would come out. So, like, I would collect them hardcore. It'd be, like... someone that was so
they were
bad.
Expensive too.
They got expensive, legit. I'd be like saving pocket money for weeks. But no, at one point they were like worth a lot of money. Like there'd be like these ladies paying like hundreds.
Side note, why are we talking about this?
Okay, I'm sorry. Because the Beanie Kids forum. I was like off the record. Why are we talking about soft bears? Oh my gosh.
Oh no, but no. Like I feel like my childhood, because we grew up, like. Obviously, I feel like we grew up in the kind of 90s.
Oh.
Like, even though we were born 2000, we grew up in the kind of 90s era / 2000s era, which was like, we got a bit of both. So we had VHS tapes, but we also had the internet and stuff like that.
Yeah, like even going
which meant that, like, which meant that like we could we played with toys and stuff like that, but then we were also online playing games online and play like cool math games and
mini clip,
all those Disney games and stuff like that, you know what I mean, which like 90s kids didn't really have, but we got which I don't know now, do people even play online games now? Is that a thing? Do young like kids play them, or is it just like all about like Nintendo Switches and iPad games?
True. Online games, I think. Meat searches if Miniclip is still around. Hello?
Oh, Miniclip, there was Skyview, and then there was like Cool Math Games, which had like
yes, Cool Math Games
Water
was
Girl,
like yes,
Water Girl and Fireboy, and then there was like Papa Pizzeria.
Yes,
there was all these different
Bubble
vibes
Trouble
that I really that really like affected my life. But like,
so Miniclip still is existing. Who funds this? I do not know, but it's still out there, and I mean, kids still play
Cool Math Games.
I thought Cool Math Games got shut down.
No, it's there.
Well, yes. No, the gaming phase was always a vibe. Do you know what the first social media you signed up to was? Of course, like a
apart from
chat
MSN.
with like MSN, like one of the big ones.
I think my first one was
MySpace,
Facebook.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, my first was Facebook, but I remember being really, really, really scared signing up because you had to be 13 and above, and I'm pretty sure I was 12 or 11, and I got it when I was in like primary school, and I was like, oh my god, my mum's gonna know, oh my god. It was so scary, and I got it for a bit, and I remember I got it for a bit, and I like messaged my crush on there because he had it, and I messaged all these like cool people.
This is where it all began.
Then I got so and then I got so scared, and like I'm pretty sure I had like weird conversations with them. I don't know, not weird, but like
young Ellie would have had weird
heaps.
conversations with them.
Yeah, and then I got scared that my mum would find out I got on like at too young of an age, so I deleted it. And then I remember coming back to it when I was like 14, when I finally wanted a Facebook page or something like that, and seeing all the past conversation history
stuff still there,
and I literally wanted it was over. Like I knew just my social status would never lift from there. It never has. It honestly never has. I ruined it when I was 10 or 11, and it hasn't gone back up. Especially in the area. I'm probably just known for just being that weird kid.
Yes, people regularly talk about that.
No, but definitely was Facebook.
The fact that people...
But as I said, like...
Sorry.
I got it, but then deleted it, and then I had like other social medias between getting Facebook again, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I had Facebook from very young. I would have been like 9, and I don't know why, considering my parents are like, you can't have internet for like only half an hour and you have to go to bed at like 7 p.m. But for some reason I had Facebook, and literally I remember for like years not having any like actual friend or someone my age, but I would just like play Farmville. It's like have a farm and just like doing crops.
I never played the game.
You didn't go through the Farmville phase?
No.
It was popping back in the day.
I was too busy playing like Love Calculator and putting my crush's name into a love calculator.
Oh my. Quick aside, the love calculators, I don't know if this is like a memory I'm making up, but people would put it in like their Instagram bio and like trick you. Like I think you'd be like, this is a love calculator. You'd click on and it'd be like, put in your crush's name to see like what's your percentages, and then you put in your crush's name and it'd be like, haha, got you, now I know a crush's name, and then like collect your, I don't know, that was just a random thing, a phase I think.
I'm pretty sure I would have put your name in once probably. I'm trying to think.
Once or
I know
twice.
I definitely put some other boy's name in, but like I'm thinking if I was at that stage of using those type of things, you'd be like, when I had a crush on you. Legit, I put in Harry Potter. I put in this guy Charlie, who I used to like. I put in his name. No, not our Charlie, a different Charlie from the past. Like there was lots of, but I don't know if I put you in. Maybe I did, and it just didn't turn out well.
You should have known then.
Weird games on those weird sites. I don't know.
The weird what?
No, but like the weird games, like there was like weird different versions of like Love Calculator that were like weird odd sites that also had like feeding your baby or like speed dating.
What?
Like the weird like girl kind of sites that were just really odd.
Rewind just a second. Feeding your baby online game.
You literally like feed a baby, like look after it and stuff like that. And there was like all those type of things, and also those sites had like those games where with the like mazes, and then you'd have to do the maze.
Scary
and
maze?
the woman's face on it. And I tell you, at a friend's house, their brother, their older brother, he did it, like, scared me from it. And after then, for about 3 years, I could not look at a black screen. What? You know how, like, a TV would be on black, or, like,
Why?
a computer would be on black? Because it just reminded me of, like, the woman coming up, because she was behind it, like, on a black screen, and I was done for.
That was literally my favourite thing to do to people for like a phase of time.
You would.
I would, but then you know, it gets to the point where everyone's seen it, and you're like, damn it. But like that first time where you're like, play this fun maze, and they're like, okay. And they're like pushing it through, like literally the scariest experience of my life that first time. And it's like the videos, like people would be like, watch this fun video of like the car driving down the green like valley hill, and then this man would pop up like screaming, and you'd be like, ah!
Honestly, I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight. Just those memories going through my mind. No, but there was just so many instances with the internet. But what, like, I think really triggered our social media internet experience, which was we can both relate on. And this is going to sound such like a privileged, like, private school thing. But in year 7, like, and for Americans and stuff like that, that is, middle of middle school. I don't really know. Yeah.
Yes.
Grade 7, middle of middle school. I don't know. But we at our high school were given iPads. Every single student had an iPad.
The iPads.
That's like so freaking privileged.
The end.
But we got iPads, and
that's true.
I think that for me triggered my social media, internet experience.
I remember being so excited. 100%. Like I was like, more than anything about the school, I was like, I'm getting an iPad, and like, and I had an iPod Touch and everything, but for some reason not iPad. Yeah. I was like, what?
You literally go on the waiting list for our school just because you know that they're gonna have an iPad.
Yeah, I want that iPad. But the first like thing around that era was like Kik.
Oh my god, Kik.
And I
totally forgot about Kik.
Just chatting, like Kik was such a vibe, and you'd just be like talking to. No, not even talking to random people. You used to be talking to friends about on Kik. And I remember at our school there was like a big thing once because they like cracked down on Kik, and they're like, actually it says on the App Store you have to be 17 plus to use Kik. And we're like, what 17-year-old is wanting to... Because at that time we're like, 17-year-old's so scary and big. What 17-year-old is out here wanting to use Kik? Like, no. Is Kik still out there? But that was... No, Kik days were very fun.
I just remember my only story from Kik was that I convinced one of our friends, Tom, that I had a boyfriend. And like back in Kik days, you used to like change your like name to like if you were dating somebody, you do the like Ali and their name or something like that, and then you put their like profile picture or something. And I completely convinced our friend Tom that I was dating Brett Rivera.
Rivera.
Rivera. I don't even know his name probably because I was like a fan of him back then. That's so embarrassing that I'm saying that because I was a huge MagCon, that type of vibe person. And MagCon's a whole different internet topic here. But no, I completely convinced him. I was like, yeah, he's my boyfriend because I like changed my name. He's like, no way. And it went on for like a couple of days, and I felt so powerful. And
why
I think I was 13.
Of like all the MagCons? Is my question.
Because I think it would be more convincing because he didn't know who Brett was.
Okay, yes, he's
and
like,
Brett wasn't the most popular one. We have to go for like a lower tier
MagCon. Was he in MagCon? I would definitely.
He wasn't, but he was part of that. He was part of that like vibe.
That vibe, yes. I mean, why? Can I just say, why did we all like at some point fake a relationship? Like, why is that a thing? Just like kids and lying about stuff.
So weird.
We was also like. I think I got Instagram because obviously Instagram, like hearts out to Instagram. It's lasted so long. It's been here for most
since
of us in here. It's like potentially going down the hill a little bit at the moment. Like,
is it
a little shop feature? The change. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just
actually, I've felt that kind of helpful. I've recently looked at it to like.
Do not support shop filter feature.
No, but big brands are on it and stuff. To find them.
So are we supporting big brands now, are we? Big corporations? Shop small businesses?
Sorry. No, but I mean, small businesses are on it too, but I mean like House of Sunny and stuff like that. I'm kidding.
But I remember getting Instagram in probably 2012, and it was like in this very early era, and it particularly early for like us getting it. And I just remember at one point I had like 35 followers or something, and I was like in the car with my friend and his mum, and he had just got Instagram too, and he was like, Theo's got 35 followers. And mum was like, what?
That's a big
How do
deal.
you have 35 people to have 35 followers? And I'm like, thank you. Like, yes, I've worked
No, but I
hard.
remember that too. Like when I got 100, I was like, oh, look at me go. Like, and like people would be like, did you even know 100 people? I was like, no.
Yeah.
It's bad.
And people would always like make memes about it now, but literally it was a thing where you'd be like, am I going to get over 11 likes? Like, please. And he'd like make... Actually, I don't even think back then you'd make like
likes.
second accounts or like extra accounts, but you'd like your own post and be like, well, you couldn't, well, no, because you could see back then, so you wouldn't really do that. But you'd be like literally waiting for that 11 likes.
There's so many moments on Instagram though. Like, for one, I can proudly say I've kept the username Ali_Malcolm since its creation of my account. I've not have a different username. I never had a weird like, haha, like, I don't know, like, love
I'm surprised.
Ali. Like, it was always just Ali_Malcolm. I know, because my
yes,
my account was awful, but my name was fine.
Your initial Instagram phase, and I just remember being in year 7 thinking this was so funny and would always, not like being mean about it, but just like laugh about it. Like,
you were. It's okay, own it. You were mean.
No, I was never like, look at Ali with her Instagram, because look,
you broke my heart.
If you go back and see my Instagram in
you,
year 7, it's probably even more embarrassing, like the hashtags. But your account, explain.
I don't know why, but I had this whole phase. It feels like a whole different life, honestly. I'm just gonna separate myself from it. But it was a good 2, maybe a year or 2 years, of full quotes. Like there'd be a couple like selfies in between and stuff like that. But I think it got to a point where there was 100 posts of quotes.
She would be
just
posting like 10 a day
of like the fun quotes,
and I'd be like, you're in like the classroom next door,
and
you're
they'd be
13,
like all like,
and she'd be
like all like really
when you
emotional.
lose someone you love, and it's like blah blah blah. I'm like, who are you like? She's next door just like on her iPad like editing this little quote. Well, no, you're not making them yourself, you're probably putting like a Valencia.
I found
remember the Instagram filters back, well, I mean they're still there, but like Valencia, I don't know, I never knew how to pronounce it, but that was such a vibe. But yeah, literally Ali's out there spamming with quotes. I'm like, what is this? Like, what was the process of selecting those quotes? Were you just like reminiscing in class? Like,
no. I think a lot of them had to do with like when I had crushes. So a lot of them would be like crushes, or if I was like really like something at home was happening and or I found something and it'd find like be really insightful. I'd be like, okay, I'll post that.
And then you like started to transition out of it, and I just remember always being like to you at school, like, where's the quotes? No quotes.
Yeah, you broke my heart. But then it transitioned just into bad, like, yellow filters. Like, I don't know if anybody else had this, but there was, like, this app called Retrika or something, Retrika. And it just had, like, the yellowest...
Yes.
The yellowest of, like, filter that would literally make you look yellow. Yeah. And I don't know why we thought that was good. I wasn't the only one who did it, by the way.
No, I mean, yes, everyone had the app. I mean, I don't know if I went through a retro. What was it? Yeah, something. I don't know, whatever. I don't know if I went through that phase, but I mean, yes, we all went through those bad phases. I've only deleted like 2 Instagram posts, so if you scroll back to mine, you can still see like random memes, like a zoomed in pic of my head. Like, why am I zooming in?
But I have never been more jealous of you to have like those memories of posts that you posted. Like, I was always like, I remember like teasing you, be like, why are you keeping those up? But then now I'm like, oh, it would be nice to have those random like photos I took in class and selfies with random people, or like weird, like, okay, maybe not all 100 quotes, but maybe like just a couple. just to, like,
literally it's so weird because now I look back on like a random selfie of me and it's like hashtag like this one is holidays, great arvo with at Ruby Studley, hashtag fun, hashtag sugar high, hashtag annoying strangers. Like, there's a million hashtags and it's like a weird ass selfie and I'm like, who is this person? And you just like, you know, it's interesting to watch yourself through the years.
Still your vibe. Like, I don't know what the equivalent of hashtags would be right now, but you would still be it.
Is she wrong? Is she wrong? No, back then I was a lot more bold in terms of that kind of thing. But, I mean, is she wrong? Probably not. But yes, no.
No, but then we also, that was, I think 2013 was when Snapchat was introduced, which when you had an iPad in class, You got no work done. It was just snapping people from each class and snapping people from across the classroom.
Why were we allowed Snapchat? How did they not?
I don't know. Maybe they didn't even know how to control it. But we had full reign over the internet and all these apps.
I saw
when we're trying to get an education. Maybe that's why I suck at school now.
I mean, look how I turned out. But no, I saw this post the other day, which was like, do you remember this about Snapchat? And I was actually shocked, like, how it took me back, like, as if I was stepping into another era. Because I'd forgotten about, like, all these developments. Like, the fact that on Snapchat, you know, when you'd send pictures to someone, it would, like, collect and, like, have a number in the corner, like 1,000 seconds from Ellie. Or something like that. I think. Yeah, and then
I remember sending so many. It would be like up to 2,000.
Yeah, I think we would send them just to get like a million, like heaps of seconds to annoy people.
I went through a phase where like I didn't go to school. Sometimes I did. I don't know.
A phase?
When like I sent my friends a like after school almost every day when I moved to my farm. So it must be 2014 to my grandpa's farm. I'd do like farm days with Ali or like farming with Ali, and I'd be just like randomly pretending to be like a farmer or like explorer and like putting on an accent and then being on like the
I'm out here on the farm riding the horse.
No, legit. And I'd be just doing circles on the ride-on mower and then just like taking people along and sending like millions and millions of videos to all my friends.
I think I can picture you on like the mower or the tractor, whatever you're on.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then I'd be like going through like being on my floor, just like army crawling, but like videoing it. Okay, I don't know. There was so many moments that like I was just like, why? And there'd be like legit like minutes of footage from Snapchat that people would get, and I feel so sorry for them. I'm so, like weirdly they're still
stories was not even a thing. Which is like crazy now. It's like the stories is, and you know, you could see like people's best friends.
Oh yes, and you could see who else was best friends with them, so you know if people were like, well, if you had a boyfriend, they were. Oh, I never had that, obviously, but I always wanted it.
But I remember in like year 9, maybe 2015, literally the most hype was when they started introducing those filters, and now it's like they're so trash. But do you remember like literally when they first did it, they would like add one every day and like a new one.
Every day there was a new filter.
Everyone was so excited to see what it was. Like that one where you'd vomit like rainbow. Everyone was like, "This is crazy! This is the coolest thing ever." Which is weird. It's like, have we not? Do we not have like filter apps before that? Because we'd all be vomiting rainbows. Like, this is amazing. And then the next day, it'd be like, "What's the next one?" And then it would disappear. And then they just added them all, and it was. Just
and then when they started to do the like, where there was like days, so it'd be like New Year's Eve day or something like that, and then have the filters on the thing. That was a big thing.
Oh, and you'd be like, "Where's my like hometown one?" Yeah.
You'd be trying to find where you are. Oh, so many memories.
That was like
sounds so weird.
Memories when Snapchat got that update. That is where. I mean, no, it was fun, but that is slightly... And we were all, like, enjoying it together, so it's not that sad.
Kind of. We'd kind of enjoy it together because I got hated on.
Sending this to people.
I don't know if you experienced the hate, but...
The hate?
There was this phase of, like, where in your Instagram you would put in your bio, like, Ask FM or Q Me. And if anybody doesn't know what they are, they're, like, anonymous things that people would click on to your profile and could, like, leave like anonymous like questions so you could answer the questions, so you kind of feel like you were popular or kind of like it was basically the like equivalent of like doing a live or now or like something like that where people would ask you questions, right? Like I just remember getting bullied. I don't really remember specific. Oh my god, I can't say it specifically like what was said, but I remember not crying. But people hated me from school because only people from school and like my Instagram would have it.
What, literally? Wait, is it still out? Do you still have yours?
I'm not sure.
Wait, I'm literally doing search right now. That was the Quoomies, and it was like Ask FM and Q. I don't know. I never knew what it was. I preferred Ask FM because I was like, I don't know if it's Qme or Quimu. Those things were literally. I'm
pretty sure I had Quoomy.
It was like anonymous questions, right? They were so nasty because, or you'd be like. Wanting people to ask, no, I just remember people were doing like, I'm doing like a Truth Friday, and then people would be like, who's like your top 5 crushes in year 7?
Oh yeah, who are the top 5? Who are your best friends or something like that? Yeah,
I had a mad crush on this one girl,
and people being like,
I'd always like want people to ask who it was, so I could be like, give a little hints. I'd be like, ask me, and then you'd like put in scribbled, and then just like in the middle of the scribble.
Oh yeah, you do like the worst.
Like,
you do like the same amount of like.
It'd be like,
yeah.
Like Jessica. Oh my gosh, wait.
Or like you do the same amount of like letters, but like just like little asterisks.
And they were a vibe, but you're right, they got nasty because like
they did.
People were like, okay, wait, I can say whatever I want anonymously. And at
the start it was like kind of a vibe, and then people started to get meaner.
Year 7, it's like, fun, who's your crush? By the time people had them in like year 9, it was like, no, like year 8 even. It was like,
year 8,
you're a fat slug. Like, I remember this one girl.
I remember being like, this person doesn't like you, or like
you said that.
No, somebody said that to me, or like being like, why didn't you invite this person to your party? Because, and I was like,
I am currently looking at crew.me/Ali Malcolm, and it is an old picture of you, and I have found your old crew.
Does it have all the content? Oh my god,
it has a lot of content from 2,428 days away.
Wait, how many
ago?
I don't even know how long that is.
There's 181 responses.
Oh, look at me being popular.
Your latest one. I love your fashion style, beautiful. Haha, fashion usually ain't my thing, so thank you. Oh my god! Makes me
want to cry.
Oh my.
What?
You didn't like. Wait. So someone asked, "Would you say you're popular? One of the cool kids that people want to be like? Are you popular, Ali, or trying to be?" And you said, "I don't consider myself as popular, and I'm not trying to be. All I do is be myself, and I guess my friends like that." Smiley. The next response, someone said, "What friends? They don't like you. They're just pretending to like you." And you go, "Thanks to the input, but I have many friends, just not of your kind." Who is out there saying this and you're gloomy? This person.
If anybody's listening to this who said them, please come
You're
forward.
a pumpkin.
Like, I won't hate you. I just want to know.
Thanks, I guess. Oh my god. Sorry to burst your bubble, but you should stop trying to be funny because it makes me want to **** more and more out of laughter. My regards, XX. And you're like, I am funny.
I'm telling you, I was really popular back in high school. As I said, my status never lifted from primary school.
Favorite girls in year 8 at school? I don't have favorites. I hate everyone.
Why is this such a mood though? Like, I remember that was kind of my brand for a while, like me just hating everybody, but also like having friends, but just being like, I hate everybody. But like in a joking way.
This person said, lesbians? What is with this lesbian stuff on my queer me? I'm not lesbian. Then someone said, I never said you're a lesbian. I just said lesbian. Great for you. I mean, I could go, feel free to everyone go stalk this because I could. Why is it, okay, this is true. Why is everyone, how come you said you were in the thoughts of lesbians? I don't know what this lesbian and you interest is.
I'm actually like, I'm just sweating because I'm so like anxious because like 13-year-old Ali is like, oh my god, bullying, here we go again.
What do you think of Miranda Sings? Soz, I don't know her.
I did know Miranda Sings. That's such a lie.
If you are so sick of people you asking the question about all the guys you like, why even answer it? It's just going to make them feel low. Your bitchy little 12-year-old grow up and get a life and your Insta is so Tumblr wannabe. And then you said, why did you even waste your time on writing this? And by the way, I'm nearly 14. Kinda need to get your facts right. And then they said, well, start acting like one and stop trying to be cool. Oh, and your last Insta post, why would you even waste your time? Look who's talking. Why don't you just say it to my face?
Me battling the haters one by one.
Would you ever ... have sex? No! Not now. Yuck. Ew.
Still, I'll take that to my grave. That's a mood.
Still relevant? Oh my gosh, okay, I'm sorry. I just...
Still relevant.
What was even the enjoyment out of doing this when everyone's just like...
I don't know, they literally just hated on me. Like, I think there was some, like, nice ones in there thrown in every now and again.
What happens when we die?
Most of it...
Your response? We live. Peace emoji.
Oh my god.
That's...
Should we make t-shirts with that?
That was very... I think that's our new podcast merch.
What happens when we die? We live. Oh my god, depressed Ali Malcolm, we love.
Look, yes. Depressed Ali Malcolm, we love. No, we do not. Well, no, we do love. Oh, thoughts on Theo? Okay. What are your thoughts on Theo? What's the bet that I said that? Who knows? Theo, this is your thoughts on me 2,754 days ago, so you can see if it's still relevant. Theo,
Okay, go.
a nice funny guy who likes to make people laugh. He loves a joke and can put a smile on your dial. Winky face. I mean, is she wrong?
That makes me want to die.
Is she wrong? Still relevant.
Like the smile on your dial, like how... What year was I born? What era am I in?
I don't know, but I'm here for
I'm
it.
pretty sure I had a crush on you, and then that's why I added this. Like,
well,
winky
yes,
face.
my saddest moment is not having it off Kick, but I definitely did get asked out by you over Kick.
Probably. No, I think... Yeah, I remember that.
It was a vibe.
Imagine having the screenshots.
Shooting a shot
That'd be
since
so funny.
Kick in 2013.
We love. Well, moving on from Kumi, I think I'm actually gonna have to, I don't know what, but like re-heal after those wounds were opened. Hit a bit home. But our friendship actually developed through the internet. Because
yes.
I don't know how,
yes.
but I suddenly, like, somebody told me that you were good at, like, editing and something like that, so you know how to help me start my YouTube channel. So I reached out to you.
Yes.
And that's how we became friends. Like, we FaceTimed, I think, on the first time, like, we were actually talking to, like, create my YouTube.
Yes.
And you were pretending to... You were pretending
I think you
to not have
button.
a YouTube at that point.
I think we should at some point, like... maybe talk about this like story because it's so funny, and even like the whole like us getting exposed and stuff. Like this was a whole era, but yes, YouTube in terms of everything, that was like, because guys, this is some of you would still be like, would have found this podcast from YouTube. Most of you probably didn't even know that I had a YouTube channel, but that was like my thing for like a good 5 years, and then I just like accidentally stopped. But I remember that when starting that, like that was such a peak time. Like that was so fun. And I would be like just on YouTube, like talking to random people. Like when I discovered that whole side of the internet, the fact that people were like posting on about themselves. But no, I think we should actually talk about that one day. Like
don't lie, you were like a little famous. And I didn't know this. I was coming to you as a friend who thought you like knew how to help.
Oh my god.
You already had probably like 1,000 or a couple thousand.
That was so funny.
Little did I know.
I would literally, for those few years, I would spend like, I'd get home from school and just be like responding to people on Twitter and like, hey guys, or I'd be like, good morning everyone on Twitter, which is so bizarre now. Like every day I'd be like, good morning. And I was like, this is genuine.
Yeah. You'd say like good night.
It was so strange and funny to look back on, but yeah.
Which was a whole other phase of like internet and everything like that. But that led us to like Amplify, which was a whole like YouTube creator thing.
We did it.
And it's just so weird that everything's kind of like built up to like what we are now, to influencers and everything like that. Because I feel like influencers weren't even a thing back in like...
Yes.
Yeah, in general. Not us.
No, I
was talking about like...
Yeah, I was
how
like okay.
everything's built up. Like I'm pretty sure
we could be influenced if you say so.
2014, there weren't even things as influencers.
Well, like, yeah, it was pretty recently coined that name, I think.
Yeah. Like there were YouTubers and famous YouTubers, but like influencers I think came with like Instagram and stuff like that, but that's how it all grew, and it's just wild.
Let us know if we should like talk about like that whole YouTube situation, because the exposure of it all, like us like crying at school, being like, "Where the weird YouTube kids?"
I remember like skipping. I think it played a part in like, I think it was 2014. It played a 15. It played a part in me dropping out. Of school, like no joke.
And you had like 4 videos. You're like, I can't take
like it actually
anymore.
played a part in me being like, I can't be at like our high school anymore. Like I need to leave.
But can we just take a moment to talk about the YouTube like eras that we were a part of from like an insider perspective, not even from like us. Who did you watch on YouTube? Like what was the first memory of YouTube? How did you... Yeah, what was your experience with YouTube?
I don't really know. I remember I just watched all those like lifestyle people who like do like the morning routines and all that type of stuff. So there was obviously like I forgot her name.
Like Lord DIY, Alicia Marie.
No.
That was probably a bit past it. Bethany Moda.
But Bethany Moda. There was like Bethany Moda, and there was all that type of vibe, that kind of crew that I kind of watched. And then there was like Miranda Sings.
Stop!
And then
not
there
on Miranda Sings' face.
Yeah, we went through a big one
We
of that.
did.
But no, there was all those type of vibe. I don't even remember who. Like I watched Casper Lee, Joe Sugg. Alfie Days, like all that. Love my British YouTubers.
Who just got a baby? Had a baby.
Alfie and Zoe.
Zoe and Alfie.
They didn't have a baby. They're pregnant.
No, they're pregnant. Yes, I remember like back the first thing is like a friend pulling up their computer and being like, "Watch this video," and it's like Fred in the supermarket. But in terms of
wait, do you mean like Fred?
Like high voice,
the orange
Fred.
guy? Yeah, the orange guy, Freddy. No,
Orange. I think you're mixing up the annoying Orange and Fred.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because they were the orange guy, but no, they were the same era. But yes, I think the first YouTuber I found was like Joey Graceffa.
Oh yes.
And that's how I like discovered YouTubering. And then I was like, what is this? And then like it would be like so exciting when like two YouTubers would collab and it would be like Miranda sings and Joey Graceffa would do like this random challenge.
God, yes.
And then like Shane Dawson and Joey Graceffa and all these random people. And then like O2L.
Yeah, a vibe.
The original like collab group.
Yeah, and then I obviously had MagCon.
Yes, your little Nash Greer phase.
No, but I was Hayes Greer. Hayes Greer was my boy.
I vividly remember a Nash Greer phase. Vine.
No, it was Hayes Greer.
No,
because Hayes Greer was...
Hayes was like in year 9. I know Nash was like...
He was the same age as us. So that's why I wanted him. Because I was like, I want him because he's the same age.
Yes.
Trust me, I know.
Which was like, it brings us to Vine, which, to be honest, I never was around for some reason.
Yeah.
I kind of missed the Vine thing. And then it like resurfaced. Do you remember in that weird period between like Vine and TikTok in like 2015 it resurfaced with like all those YouTube video compilations of like best Vines. Like Vines watching New Press and everyone would be like, I love watching Vines. It was like literally the thing.
Oh my God.
And then everyone's like, bring back
so
Vine.
Weird.
And that's when TikTok came over.
And then there was Musical.ly. No, there was Musical.ly first.
Musical.ly definitely
which
missed
I
that
hated.
phase.
I was like, that's disgusting. So then I never owned the Musical.ly app or anything. And then TikTok came and I was like, no, I'm not doing this. And then now I watch TikToks.
No, it's so funny. Yeah, no. Yeah.
It's just so weird. Like, even looking past what it's been 2013 to... So not even 10 years. Not even, 10 years of internet. Like, full... I'm not talking like, you know, MSN and stuff like that. I'm talking social media, internet. The way it's progressed so much...
Honestly, it's like, you know, there's an aspect where it's like, oh, how much of this is sad, the fact that we're like, you know, so much on the internet as teenagers and stuff. But then looking back, it's like so funny. I don't know, it's like shared, like in itself, there's so many little memories. It's like... Yeah,
and there's so many shared experiences because of the internet. Like, yes, like, it took, like, it's taken a different turn to what it used to be. But, like, we all, like, kind of did have, like, were impacted by, like, groups like OTL.
Wow, thank you, O2L.
OTL?
It's like, what's that name again? So impacted by OTL.
No, but I'm saying, like, even, like, minuscule, like, we all knew about them, which kind of, like, brought us, like, together. Oh, like, I didn't really watch them that much. But, like, I'm talking about, like, things like that all, like, brought us together in a weird way. Like, we all have those, like, kind of same memories because of these content creators. Internet is a wild, scary place, to be honest.
Literally. Honestly, this has made me kind of more appreciate it because I'm like, no, there is such fun moments from it. As long as we, like... can manage the addiction.
Use it correctly. Yeah, legit. No.
Yes.
But we could talk about the internet for ages, and we have been talking about it for so long, and just jumping from here and there.
I'm sorry, I hope that like made sense. It wasn't just me and Ali like, remember in year 7 when we did this? Like, I hope.
I feel like it was.
You guys are
I feel like there's just so many things to touch on.
Literally. There's too much.
And like, if you've had a similar experience or like can relate to something, please let us know.
Or like spark our more memories, tell us more stuff, yes.
Yes. If you're in our Facebook group, like message like your experience with the internet, what random things you had growing up. If you can DM us, I don't know, however you want to reach out.
Yes, DM us a random Instagram, not Instagram, social media, like internet memory. To like trigger it in us.
Because like they're so fun and I want to like trigger more memories. Like what random games did you play? Like I played those Polly Pocket games where you like drove around in a car. I don't know. There's all these like weird games that like if you did something like that, please.
If anyone else was on the Beanie Kids forum, let me know. Probably remember your username.
If anybody was on the blog about Club Penguins.
If anyone wants my link, they can read the articles. Feel free to hit me up. No. Shall we get to some people pics? Is it time to move on?
Yes, I think it is. And what a great people pick to start off with. We have...
What a great people pick.
No, but this actually is a great one to start off with because it kind of ties into the internet and stuff a bit like this. But it's about a couple of people responded and wanted us to talk about the David Dobrik situation, which he has been a major impact on YouTube and stuff like that. He had a big phase, which now he's being cancelled for good reason.
Yes, this has been...
But yeah, he blew up. He was like on Vine and then was on YouTube. If you don't know David Dobrik, which I'm assuming if you listen to a podcast and you're like young, you should have maybe an idea of him. But Theo, do you want to run us through what's happened?
Well, yeah, so, I, got into David Dobrik probably 2017, 2018, 2019, I was literally obsessed. 2017 to 2018 particularly, I was just so keen
when he posted on a Monday, Wednesday, and a Friday.
And I just remember advocating, guys, you have to watch these videos. That you get to the end of the 4 minutes, and it's just that was hectic. That was so entertaining.
420, yeah.
But then started earlier this year, throughout last year, I started to be turn off David Dobrik, and I'm I don't know if it's, I just could not. This is maybe irrational, but I just can't stand his laugh. His fake over the top laugh, and is it just me growing up getting past David Dobrik? You know what I mean? But I was just no. And something about him. I listened to his podcast for a while, and then for some reason it irked me. I was he low-key sounds a bit I don't know. He'd always become kind of arrogant and a little bit douchey and fake.
And I think it's when he started when he gave out a couple of cars, I was oh, fun. But when he started to do that a lot and it was just about that, I was kind of I'm not here for that. But that's not even the basis of this story. It's not really about what he did or his arrogance, because that's a whole other thing. But it's actually, and I'm ashamed to say it because I remember watching back a lot of the videos that have been mentioned, and I don't remember specifically watching those videos, but I definitely watched them because I remember going through and watching all of his videos. And I saw no issue in what was happening. I don't know if I wasn't aware of exactly the circumstances, but I remember watching it and just being whatever. When really how it's been the light's been shone on it and all of the issues that have come up, I'm how did nobody find this an issue when it was literally 2 years ago?
So,
that's not that long ago, and nobody said anything.
There's been a bunch of things, and there was a few instances leading up, one to do with this dude getting in a kissing prank, and then a few little issues which people were kind of getting, not really taking that seriously. But then this one came out, which was essentially in this vlog, this dude who was known as, he's called Dirty Dom, and he was known to be the dirty, slimy kind of guy.
Gross,
that was his character. Yeah. The premise was him trying to get a threesome, so he puts on his story who wants to come over for a fivesome. These girls rock up and they're all joking, oh my gosh, it's happening! They're all walking into the room, and it's this big deal. And then as it turns out, this girl has come out, not publicly, but to actually at the time she also expressed it, so it's not just this sudden thing coming out and her gaining clout or anything. It's a private person who mentioned that at the time it actually wasn't consensual. They basically gave them alcohol. They were underage. They made them drink alcohol. Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know if made pressured. Them, but they would have felt pressured because there was these famous celebrities with filming the vlog, these huge people. She drunk, she was basically blacked out. And
one of her friends was.
Well, there's two of them telling this story.
There's two of them.
One of them was blacked out and basically was raped by Dirty Dom.
Incoherent.
Trigger warning. Sorry. So they were just basically saying it wasn't really consensual at all. Lots of uncomfortable stuff, all for the sake of a vlog. Now,
well, even the power dynamic.
Yes.
Imagine going into that situation with these really super famous people who you want to be friends with, you want to be cool, and you want to, I don't know, impress and be on the vlog or do this stuff, and they're telling you to do this stuff. Of course you're going to be there's so many elements to it that are so fucked up that I remember watching that specific vlog, as I said, and not thinking about it at all, and which really makes me ill that I'm I didn't even really...
and so many...
I don't... Yeah. Maybe, yeah.
And lots of these moments which have come up as reasons of David being dodgy, or even things from the podcast, and I'm I remember listening to that, and it's the same with the Shane Dawson stuff. I'm I remember listening to that exact podcast or that exact YouTube video, and I would have been laughing because it just flew over my head. And so I think David wasn't directly involved in the rape, and as far as it's gone across, he most likely didn't know that they were it was in the room that there was happening that. But in saying that, he still recorded the thing. He put it out
and played a part. The
alcohol was a bit iffy and stuff.
Yeah.
So
I think even you in the clip, there's a clip of them the next day or something being haha, we're gonna go go to jail for that.
Yes.
With a bunch of them in the car, which like makes me aware that they know what they did wasn't completely right. Like, I don't know. Lots of red flags that like I'm sad that I didn't pick up on, and like I think a lot of people feel the same way. But also it makes me sad that like Seth, this guy who was part of their vlog, came out and spoke about it, which kind of I think ignited a lot of this whole sequence of events happening, like unfolding. But he came out and said like why he left the vlog squad. I think he was on a podcast or something, or an interview.
Yeah.
And he like spoke out about how like basically it was, was it sexual assault? I don't know what it was.
Yeah, so there was a kissing prank where he was like told he was kissing like the really hot girl in the prank's Corinna, but then it was actually Jason, who's like the 45-year-old dude with like a mask on, and so he was like making out with him, and then it was David, and everyone was like laughing at the time, and now he's like, no, that was actually like really traumatized me. It was like sexual assault because it wasn't consensual and stuff, and I think like it's clear that most of this stuff wouldn't have been like David with an evil motive, like I'm going to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And in saying
but
that,
I
it's
still
also
think that
him
doesn't take away from the
him being like 21 and whatnot. And so I've been very much on like the take David down train, because I listen to Frenemies and like Trisha and the H3 podcasts, and they've been like talking about David for ages. So I'm like, yes. So for me, I don't think he's going to be cancelled. I don't even necessarily feel like he needs to be cancelled, and he's not going to be, that, like, but I think he definitely needs to be he's held accountable to it and like humbled a little bit.
Yeah, I think the way he's gone about it is not being great. Like after like people have come out and spoke about it, he did nothing or said didn't say anything, horrible. And then he put out a really bad apology that wasn't even an apology,
and he tried to turn it back on them and like get lawyers involved, and was like, Seth is making
But and then he lost huge
sponsorships,
lots of sponsorships, and then now he's come out with like a good apology, which like it would be a good apology if it was done first off, but now it's kind of like
I'm so bad there because I'm just like
we've seen everything happen.
End up empathetic for that person, because I'm like, yeah, take David down, suck it, and then I watch his video and he's like looks like he's crying. He's like, I am so sorry, and I'm like, I feel bad.
But then I'm also like. For me, I like watched it and I was like, this is a classic like James in front of the camera, whatever that girl was,
Tardy.
I forgot her name, Tardy, in front of the camera like crying. It's kind of like, I get that you're upset and stuff like that, but also it's like not that, I don't know.
I think it's a really good
There's just so many
opportunity
elements
for
to
like not for him, but like for everyone, just in terms of like learning about this stuff, like even the conversations around consent in terms of like something as much like a prank as the Seth thing. It's like something which has led to everyone who's like watching this thing to start thinking about, oh, maybe consent does have to go further than just like when you're wanting to have sex with someone in like a romantic way.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And
it's just like really sad that people haven't thought about that before, and of course, like I think there's a lot of stuff happening, especially in Australia at the moment, about sexual assault and all that.
Yeah, which we definitely
we'll go into that another episode.
And the whole power dynamic thing you mentioned,
feel
like with
it's just really sad for it to only now be kind of recognized, which is it's great that it's happening, but I'm like, how long has this been happening that like we've ignored it, and like people haven't you should know that, like, I don't know. There's just things that I'm like, duh. Of course you're going to need consent. Of course you should, like, ask if that's okay and stuff like that. But I know that, like, this has been a huge eye-opener for a lot of people, which is good that it's happening. It's just sad that it's happening.
And particularly, like, also the fact that kind of consent can sometimes, it can be hard because it can go beyond just whether the person says yes. Like in this instant of like influencers and celebrities, the power dynamic of them being like, the girl's like, yeah, we'll come over for a fivesome, even if they're not super serious. Or like they say, do you want alcohol? And they're like, yeah, because they're like 18-year-old in college, and like David Dobrik is there like, do you guys want alcohol? Like David might not be sitting there like, well, let's feed them alcohol to get them like dead. He's just like, oh, this is a fun vlog. They want alcohol. They say yes. But then understanding like, well, when you're in that situation with like that power, there is more to it than just like, yes, no, what.
I think there's also just like reading body language and stuff like that some people don't take into account. Like if somebody, maybe I'm just like really aware at reading people, but I always take into account of people's body language. Even if they're saying something like with their words, that doesn't mean like, you know, there's all other things to consider which need to be focused on, which I'm glad people
yes, I'm
slightly becoming aware of. I hope.
David's not going to go anywhere, but so I think it's instead just like a really good chance for the world.
You don't think he's going to go anywhere?
No.
I think his
apology video had like 500,000 likes and like 5k dislikes.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean it's like people are going to keep watching him. Like, I feel like even his content, like he hasn't made like content in a really long time.
That's a different thing.
Wasn't
but
putting out stuff
he put
anyway.
out that dodgy, weird lame ass app which he like stepped away from, which has been his huge thing, and I'm like, probably good that he got away from it, because like that is, I'm sorry, not going to be a success. Like beyond just his immediate.
But super interesting, and like I'm gonna keep like following it because I want to, I want to see the developments and how it's going to impact, just like, because I feel like what we didn't realize is the whole mentality between that group was very frat vibey, which needs to be exposed. That whole, like, I know lots of people already know about that whole frat mentality, but this just really shone a light on it, because like even though it was like YouTubers, it was still had that same essence, which I hope lots of people who are kind of involved or like are around that kind of vibe and energy of the frat boy vibe like, you know, take into account of these things too, because they've probably experienced similar situations, and that helps change their, like, you know, their decisions and stuff like that. So like that's all, I don't know, but I feel like we should move on from that, because that's.
But I do obviously just want to say that, of course, the most important thing in this situation is the victims of sexual assault, and we are going to be talking about it more in another episode, and all the discussion around the men and stuff. Yes. Beyond just like, and it's way beyond than like, oh, should David Dobrik lose sponsorships? Like, there's real victims in these situations.
I feel like it's something we need to touch on with more time and actually make it a huge discussion, because I feel like lots of people need to hear it. Lots of girls need to hear it, but of course, especially lots of men. But also, like, what really scares me is that, like, not a lot of people know that they've been, like, sexually assaulted.
And
or, like,
lots of...
In that sense.
And the other
really
thing
scary.
is lots of guys don't know they're sexually assaulting.
Yes.
You know?
Which is even scarier. And so, yeah. Anyway, we'll get into that. So look out for that episode.
Drop the next people pick. That was... We gave some David Dobrik some airtime.
Oh, yeah. And that was by... Zero Claudia with a couple of A's, and also Charlie _broadcast about the vlog squad too, of course. But this next people pick comes from Holly Maid.
Hello. Holly.
And she just says getting old. Which I feel like my birthday is coming up, your birthday is coming up.
It is.
We're May babies.
And last year we had like a big discussion about this.
Yeah.
The whole turning.
I don't know. I've actually thought about this for a while, and like, I don't feel like I'm 18, because I feel like that's a whole different vibe to what I'm at. But I do still feel like I'm way younger than I am. Maybe because I never finished high school, and I feel like I'm only just starting my like education and like career, where like a lot of people who are turning 21 or like are 20 have already like solidified or like are starting to solidify their career and, you know, their life journey. But maybe that's just society telling me that. But I feel like, yeah, because of that, I feel like I'm not as old. And then when I figure out, oh my God, I'm going into like my 20s. I know I'm 20, but like I'm going into my 20s, into 21. I'm like, that's weird.
Yes, I think this is the...
Because like I still want an out. Like I'm still a kid.
I know.
I'm still a child. Like, stop.
Like, I shouldn't...
like,
yes. I think this is probably the first time in my life where I've actually been like chill with my age. Not chill, but like not that stressed about it. I think like I've been through so many phases. Like I remember being 12 and just like sitting there like in the middle of a school holidays day and just like crying because I'm like, I'm so old. Like life is slipping past. Like blah blah blah. Like you're 12. But now I'm like, when we turned 20 last year, I definitely had an existential crisis, like, so old. And even still, like, the other day I saw a card from when I turned 20. It was like, happy 20th. And I was like, 20? No. But I think maybe because I'm, like, around older people often and they're constantly talking about how old they are and how young 20 is, I'm like, I'm in there right. Yeah. 20 is objectively very young. Yeah, we're chill.
It is.
But as a yeah.
I just feel like I haven't lived...
You're 20.
Like, I don't know. I just don't feel like I've accomplished a lot.
You're at high school until you're 18. You finished high school last year. Like, what do you... No, I mean, like, you were still in high school till last year, 19. Like, what do you want to accomplish?
Last year was 2020.
Didn't you drop out of school last year? Oh, so you're 20.
But I was 20,
and you're still 20.
No, I don't know. I just feel like it's just weird. Like, I don't want to take responsibility, which I know when you get older, you obviously have to be responsible. And, like, even, like, talking to Tash Invest, I'm like, fuck, I need to get
onto
my money in order, and I need to, like, organize my life.
Which
I
shout out
done.
Tash
I'm
Invest.
still, like...
I've been using her little recommended budget planner thing.
Legit.
And I shared it to the Facebook group and there was like crickets. But I've been using it and it's like really fun. I like always look at my little pie graph like I've spent so much, but it's fun to track.
No, but like, yeah, I just feel like there's so many things that I'm not on top of that I should be on top of or getting on top of, and I'm not even there yet.
Yeah.
Which makes me feel like I'm like trying to catch up because I'm like, I don't know if that makes me feel old though. No, it does. It makes me feel behind. Anyway, like, I don't want to think about it. I don't want to think about looking old or having kids. I want kids, but I just don't know how to... That just seems like years away. Like, call me when I get a stable job. That's not like a part-time hospitality job, please.
Like, at uni. That's enough for right now. You don't need a proper job.
I should have a job, though,
but maybe like a little part-time gig. You don't need like a secure... proper job.
I want one though, like, or like at least growing towards one, or like
you're at uni.
That I don't know. Stop. Okay, I'm just expressing my feelings. You're right. Like I agree.
No,
you're right.
That's
but,
how I feel. Yeah. I'm invalidating your emotions. I'm sorry.
So those are my thoughts on that. But our last people pick comes from Coffee Liam.
Oh, hello.
And he says, how to do confident shit like create a podcast, which is perfect for us because here we are podcasting. Theo, do you have any tips, advice? How are you confident? Oh, you've been doing YouTube
exactly.
since you were like 12,
and I always go on about like how I don't give a crap what people think. Like I just do what I want, which is very not true. I've realized is because like I hate like give off that vibe. People are like, how do you do it? But I'm like, that's not true. Like I walk into like a social situation and I'm like terrified. I'm like very self-conscious of like how I'm behaving and stuff. Like it is not true that I don't care how people think. But for some reason I've had a different mindset when it comes to like doing something which I believe is like fun and like right. Yeah. And I guess for me it's like I had the YouTube experience to like talk and whatnot. And it didn't like take a lot of confidence to do the podcast because I was like, this is something which I want to do for fun, which I think could be entertaining because, you know, like me and Ali's friendship, like the vibe, you know, Ali's dramatic stories at the time, I was like, this was something I want to do just for fun. So it didn't need me to be like confident to do that.
I agree. Like, I don't think I'm the most confident, like, a lot of the time, when anybody meets me, they think I'm like a bubbly, like confident person. And I will say I am like that. But a lot of the time, I'm faking it. Like, it's literally, I'm just putting it on. Like, I am anxious 24/7, like all the time. Thinking about everything. Like, I'm not completely confident in myself. And that's something I'm working through therapy. Because that impacts a lot of my life. But with this and I don't know, this is a way, like, an outlet for me to gain more confidence, as in, like, I fake it, but then when we get positive feedback or I feel like I've done something, like, created something good or talked about or had a great conversation, I'm like, oh, okay. Like, and I feel like a lot of time, like, at the start of the podcast, we were so, like, we were confident, but we had no idea, like, we didn't know how to flow, and sometimes we still don't know how to flow. And I think it's just, like, trust in yourself and, like, believing that your content that you're going to put out and what you have to do and show to the world is enough and people are going to enjoy that. I definitely think that, like, I also had, like, the YouTube kind of background and stuff like that. But yeah, I think it's just
like you were saying, like, positioning your mind to be like, when we don't necessarily have to be confident, because like confident in what, like confident people like it, confident blah blah, is because we're not, like, obviously now we're like we obviously want people to like it and stuff, but we're doing this podcast for our own entertainment, for our own, like, belief.
Oh, exactly.
And also just being, I guess, more confident. I don't know if this is something you can just like do, but be confident in like capabilities rather than yourself. Like, I'm not confident that people like me. I'm not confident that I'm good in social situations or anything, but it's like, but no, I'm confident that like me and Ali can have a fun conversation. Like, I'm confident that I can know how to edit a podcast. I'm confident in those kind of things.
Yeah, I leave that up to him.
So, like, well, in that case, it can happen. I don't need to be like confident in myself being like
Exactly. And then obviously you gain confidence when you put out like a good episode or good content and people give you feedback. And like even when my mum goes, Ali, like when she was like, Ali, like you're really good at like podcasting, you should think about going into radio.
Yeah.
And I was like, maybe I will. And she was like, go study it. And then I was like, maybe I'll move up to Sydney. Like there's all these things that like I think like even if it's just a small compliment or like you think you've done something small that's really good, just like sit with it. Like I don't know. I think like as long as you're being, I think, yourself, which is hard, but like putting yourself out there on a podcast and being completely like natural, for me, that works for me. Like I'm like, I know that people can relate to this and I can maybe help somebody because they'll be like, oh, that kind of happened to me. Then that's kind of what fed me to keep doing the podcast and like what keeps me confident, because I'm like, okay, I know that like people might not have the exact experience, but maybe they have done something awkward in a bathroom at a club. Maybe it wasn't peeing themselves, but maybe like, but maybe it was, you know, maybe it was something like that where they're like anxious about that, or like they're scared that something will happen. They're like, oh, well, somebody else has gone through this. They laugh about it now. They've lived, and I'm like, okay, if I helped them in that way, I want to put out more content and do that. So that's
exactly
what helps me do. Yeah.
Hopefully there was something in there which you can take. I don't know, like the whole
but you're not feeling
thing,
confident about that.
Sure. You just have to fake it till you make it. Literally, just fake it.
I definitely think fake it.
But also, like,
yeah,
it also can be hard to fake.
Faking it though, like as you like, I think we've talked in the past, like it's kind of manifesting and stuff. If you fake it so much, you kind of just like it feeds into you. Like if you're putting out that vibe and energy so much that you're confident, like some of it comes back and you feel that type of way.
Just pretend you're
on
confident.
A regular basis. Yeah, like even though I fake it a lot, it's kind of become my personality because I faked it so often that now it's like, well, I am confident in that. Anyway, that's another ball game there.
Anyway, we've been going for almost 2 hours, so I reckon we wrap it up. Even though this has been fun. I know, I'm like,
it has.
It's going to be a long time editing, but we've been away, so maybe it's worth it. No, this has been a good time. I've enjoyed this chat. I hope you guys have enjoyed listening.
It's definitely been a more conversational chat, but we hope you have related to things and like found some things interesting and entertaining as per usual.
Yes.
As we said, if you have something niche or interesting or you related to something we experienced growing up on the internet, please shoot us through DM.
And we actually do want to hear. We're not just saying this like to get more DMs. Like I generally like read all of them and very interested in like our podcast listeners have to say back. So please do hit us up. Like if you want to be part of the convo, we're always keen for a third person. Yeah,
for sure. And go leave a rating or review as per
usual. Yes, leave a rating or review. Subscribe, please.
Go do that. Because you could be next week. You could be mentioned on next week's episode. Think about that.
Think about that, guys. Like, you can put that on your resume. No, thanks so much for listening. Follow us on Insta, Ali_Malcolm, Theo.McCoy, at the Undecided Gen Z. Subscribe. Do your thing. Have an amazing week. And we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.